Today, guys, we are talking about a club that is $199, and that is the PXG XF driver. And it's not something that I've purchased, but Mid-Handicap Dave has got a new Christmas present from Mrs. Harrison. I'm not going to take the honours of hitting the first shot, so let's get him in. Right, so in comes Dave here. So first shots with the driver. Dave's got a new present. So new drivers are coming out soon. We know that obviously it is new driver season, but Dave, you enjoyed the PXG we tried before.
We did, and obviously Mrs. Harrison must have gone into a bit of money, or she's decided not to buy any shoes. So
true, so you're in. So here we go, we've got a 10.5 driver, regular shaft. So Mrs. Harrison newer stuff, she's obviously watched the videos.
And complained about them.
Or Dave's probably watched them and Mrs. Harrison's had to watch them.
That's correct.
Right, first shot with it. Let's see, a little bit one out to the right.
Well,
200 carry, give or take. 208 total. So interesting there, Dave. A good one. And one to the right. Not a shot that we would normally see.
We could have to completely rethink our course management here, Chris.
And we have tinkered with the settings here. So obviously PXG do have a very in-depth way that you can change your loft, change your lie angle to make sure you can get the desired shot you're looking for. We've got this in the PXG setting, which changes that lie angle and makes it more fade bias. We know for Dave he misses left. That's a great shot. 197 carry, 210. So far, Dave's absolutely loving this Christmas present.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
He might buy Mrs. Harrison some shoes. Dave will never play for Leeds United after that pass he's just played there. Right, one more then, Dave.
Well, can't believe them.
So this is the XF version. You will have seen on the channel we did have the standard version on there, and this is now a little bit more forgiving.
We like forgiving, Chris.
We like forgiving for Dave.
Not that forgiving though, eh?
But that's one there that would still be just going into the semi-rough, 170 carry, 165, so you have lost 20 yards there. But for me, I don't think that's turned maybe as much as the old M2 would have.
It's an M1, but no.
M1, I do apologise, Dave.
No, the M1 did like the left-hand side of any course, if not off the left-hand side of any course.
Yeah, right, one more then, Dave, and then I'm going to hit a few. We've got another shaft here, so we do have a stiff shaft that I'm going to put in there and see numbers-wise how it performs for me. That's a great ball flight. And again, height on these is much higher than Dave was hitting the M1. Over 200 carry, 215. Let's see what I can do.
Mrs. Harrison, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harrison. Fantastic head cover here as well. So I'll show you the finish on this driver. A nice, different looking driver from the top.
We might have to change the head cover, Chris. The Leeds United one might have to come back out.
No, I think the Leeds United one can stay with such a good head cover. So guys, obviously looks behind the golf ball, certainly different looking to the other 0311 driver, so not the XF version. And that for me is something that you do need to look at. Obviously you need to like the look over that. If you've got confidence over the ball, if you like how it sits behind the golf ball, you're normally going to be a little bit more confident to hit it out of the middle, get some more distance. If it's something that doesn't look great behind the golf ball, then there's always the driver to blame. So let's talk a little bit of tech in this driver. So guys, the PXG 0311 XF version of this driver is the mid-spin option, offering a nice clean look. As we've said from the top of the driver, it does sit nicely behind the golf ball. We've got precision weighting on the bottom, so we have got one 2.5 gram lightweight on there and two heavy 7.5 weights, which is to distribute the weight evenly, and you can fine-tune those to get your spin and bias exactly how you want it. The head design compared to the 0311 is a little bit longer, so from the heel to toe it is a longer face. It is a little bit shallower there compared to the other model driver. That is to help with those off-centered hits. We do have the adjustable hosel that we have talked about, so we can do a lot there. We can make it more upright, we can make it flatter to start to get draw and fade bias shots. We have the full AV crown, which we know is to help get that carbon fibre top to be able to distribute weight a little bit further. With a lightweight material, saves mass in the crown, allowing us to redistribute that, to help us lower that CG and redistribute it around the perimeter, so we are still getting more forgiveness and ball speed across that face. That's exactly what you're looking for from this driver. So this driver, performance benefits is it's going to give you good distance. We've seen that from Dave. We've got unbelievable forgiveness because of that carbon top. We're going to get a good sound off there, which Dave has commented when he has tried this outside at his home golf club at Garforth. It does sound good off there. Mid-spin as well, which is something that's perfect for Dave, trying to get that little bit more spin to get that ball launching that little bit higher, which is certainly what we've seen, and that is very fitting because they are trying to get the optimum trajectory from this driver. They're not saying that it's going to be bullet low, it's not a low penetrating ball flight, trying to get a higher trajectory for the everyday golfer. So let's get and hit a few more shots. I'm going to give this a try now, put it through its paces. Can I get closer to the 0311 numbers? We're going to be comparing those in coming weeks, guys, so look out for that. Yet again, I forgot to move the golf balls off there, so we didn't pick that one up, but let's see, performance-wise, what can we get? So pretty high. Again, this is set at 10.5. This is set to beat fade bias there, a little bit to the right, a little bit high for me. 245 yards carry, so pretty spinny that shot for me. Let's see if I can get another one down there. So again, a little bit more spin, which will be probably good for the mid-handicap golfer who does launch a little bit low. And we saw with Dave's ball flights there that it launched a lot higher than we've seen out on the golf course. So it'd be very interesting to get this out on the golf course when it's not, well, when the golf courses aren't closed, and see if we can get that same kind of ball flight, because we want Dave to get a little bit more carry next year. Get a ball flight that's a little bit higher. There's a lot of trouble at Garforth that he has to carry, and getting that trajectory a little bit higher. Okay, that's a nice penetrating ball flight there. Let's have a look. So 260 carry going out to 275, so not bad at all there. So this is set on 10.5, so a little bit too much loft for me. So I'm going to loft it down now and show you the versatility we've got here. We can loft it down. It's also going to affect the lie angle. We'll see what changing that does to your shot shape. So it's essential for you to get fitted. Dave's being fitted for this. It comes obviously in the standard setting. We've moved that to the PXG setting for Dave because we know that's a little bit flat, a little bit fade bias, and for us that's going to be perfect for Dave. That's going to get him stopping hitting that left one more often and more consistently and get him down the middle of the fairway. And we know if Dave can hit a few more fairways, he's got a better chance of hitting the green, and we've got a better chance of getting that handicap down there. We want Dave to have a driver in the bag. There is going to be some new ones coming out. We know this is his Christmas present, so it'll be very interesting to see here a fantastic deal from PXG, which I know does run out at the end of the year. It will go back up in price, so it's a great steal for Dave from Mrs. Harrison, so even better because it's free for Dave. But he's going to put this to a test against all the new latest drivers that will be out on the market very soon. Has he made the right decision? Has Mrs. Harrison found an absolute gem for Dave? That's what we want to see. But I'm going to loft this down and see if we can get closer to 300 yards. So guys, I've changed the setting on there now. We have knocked it down to a 9 degree, which also changes that lie angle, so it's less flat. So that's going to then give us a little bit more draw bias, if anything. It's still going to be favouring towards a fade, but it will straighten that flight up a little bit. A nice thing I think for here, obviously, we don't know what setting you've got that on, so it's very interesting to see that, okay, nobody will know actually what you've got it set on. Have you got it set on standard? Have you got it draw bias? Have you got it fade bias? It's keeping people guessing. But for me, over the golf ball, how's that going to help us get closer to those 300 yards? Straight away. A little bit better ball flight. What is the carry going to be? 260 going 270, so similar, not changed too much so far. Let's see if I can get that quite low, a little bit higher spinning for me. Okay, so good flight there. A little bit of a draw. Let's see carry wise. 260. Going 280, so very good there. That was a toe strike that still got out there. I haven't yet found the middle, but fantastic driver there for me, nice and forgiving. But what we want to do is put this to the test against the standard driver, so get the one more that's pushed towards maybe your players, your lower handicap golfers, see how it compares for Dave, see how it compares to me. Can I get that one a little bit further? If this is the perfect one for Dave, that's fantastic. We want that to be for him. He's getting that higher launch, which is exactly what we want. He's getting some longer carries. He's hitting it further than his 5-wood, so we don't have to maybe use his 5-wood off the tee. We can get him a little bit further down there and going further. But again, this is a fitted driver, so Dave's being fitted for this. There is a PXG centre at Garforth where he is a member, and he's been able to get the right settings. Mrs. Harrison's been able to get a fantastic deal on the price, which again, guys, does run out at the end of December. So if you're looking for an older generation PXG, that could be an absolute steal for you. It's certainly performing for Dave, but let's see how it performs against the other PXG range and also the latest drivers coming out in the next couple of weeks. It'll be very interesting to see that for Dave. Obviously, we know everybody's thinking about price. The new drivers are going to be coming down in price. They are trying to look at their price point to make it more affordable for the everyday golfer. But Dave and Mrs. Harrison could have fell on to a fantastic driver.